He was like, everyone here is just shit and y'all need to learn how to do your effing jobs. And I was like, happy Father's Day to you too. Anything I say in this video, keep in mind that I was 16 and this was my first ever job. I was a baby. I had just turned 16 4 months ago, so I was basically like, I still had the mind of a 15-year-old. It was so hard for me to get a job in the first place because 16, no experience, and yeah, like it was just not easy. First of all, let's start from the very beginning. My manager forgot we had the interview. Like, he forgot he scheduled an interview. Got ready. I decided not to go to school that day because the interview was supposed to be at like 9 in the morning, and I was like, I'm not gonna like not go and be like, oh, can we reschedule because I have school, because I was a senior, and I'm like, I'm literally gonna be out of school in like 2 months, so I'm not gonna like pass up this opportunity and then regret it. Because if I started off on the foot that there's some things I can't do because I have school, he's gonna think it's just gonna be like that all the time, when it's not, you know. School is not that serious your senior year because you've learned almost everything you have to, and it's mainly just applying to college. I'll just not go to class this morning and go to my interview. At the time, I didn't know how to drive and I did not have a car, you know, freshly 16. My mom took me to the interview. Whenever I got there, they were like, oh, why are you here? Like, the people who worked there, it was like a restaurant. Oh yeah, I was a waitress. This was me applying to be a waitress, and I'm not gonna say the company's name or anything because I don't want to get sued or anything, but yeah, I was at a restaurant and the people were like, why are you here? And I'm like, I'm here for a job interview. You know, just preppy and cute and just 16, but like just 16. And they're like, they start laughing and I'm so confused, and they're like, oh, he's at Walmart right now. I guess he forgot. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Like, I don't know. I was like, that's kind of weird. I knew that was weird. I felt like that was a red flag off rip. I was like, that's already odd, but I guess it's fine. And they call him and they're like, oh, someone says they're here for a job interview. Like, did you schedule a job interview? And he's like, OMG, yes, I did. I totally forgot. Can we meet at this different location and just have the interview over there? And I'm like, sure, I could drive there. Don't want him to know that I did not drive and my mom drove me, and I don't want to inconvenience my mom because it's like, it's an entire thing. For some reason, I felt like that was gonna look bad on me because it's like, I'm an unreliable employee. But the thing is, you scheduled a job interview and you forgot and you're at Walmart doing God knows what. Probably shopping for but like still. And it's 9 a.m. What do you need at 9 a.m.? Realistically. And I'm not in school. Well, I'm not in school, but like I'm cutting school for this. My mom is driving me up and down, and you freaking, like, normally, normal, like now, I would be like, that's a sign from the universe that this job is not meant for me, and I would just let it go. I promise you, I would just let it go. I would not meet this man at a second place. Are you crazy? Especially now that I'm in college and I'm like, I know people are weird and like people do weird shit. I would not go and meet this man at for what? For 11 an hour? And girl, I live in Arkansas. Minimum wage is $11 an hour, and waitress minimum wage is like $3.50. So for $3.50 an hour, no. But anyways, I go, yeah. I tell my mom and she's like, sure. She drives me to the second place and I meet him and we talk, and he's like, well, how soon can you start? And I'm like, as soon as possible, really. And he's like, yeah, start Saturday. Because at that point, I told him I was in school. So I was like, I'm in school and I'm in high school. So normal high school time. Like, I'm not free from like 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. because that's normal. That's normal high school time. And I played soccer. So like for 8 a.m. to 4:15 maybe. He was like, okay, come Saturday and you can start. And I'm like, okay, like fun. And I was so happy and I was so excited because I finally had a job, and that was my first job ever. I go on my first day. I get the uniform and everything. He signs me to someone and he's like, okay, he's gonna be training you, he's gonna teach you everything you need to know. And I'm like, okay, like that's fine. Like, what could I learn about waitressing? Like, it's pretty fast forward. Just go get the food, go give it to people, and make sure, like, don't be rude. I don't know, be funny. Being funny is an extra, honestly. Be funny if you want, but like really just make sure you get people their food on time. It's pretty chill. No, it's not. It should be chill. It's pretty straightforward, but it's not chill. It's quite like quite chaotic actually. The person that's training me, I'm like watching whatever they're doing and everything, and this group, oh my goodness, on my first day working, this group of like bikers, like they come in and they keep talking to me and they keep calling me Barbie. They're like, oh, come refill my coffee, Barbie, or come, like, just like they keep talking to me. And I'm like, I thought I was supposed to be invisible. Like, I'm being so serious. I was like, I thought I was supposed to. Hello? I'm literally just shadowing. Like, this is not about me. This is not my table. This is not my section. I don't have a table or a section. I'm literally just supposed to be watching what he's doing and taking notes. I'm supposed to just be watching and taking notes. So that's what I'm doing. But they keep talking to me and everything. And then he tells them, he's like, oh, this is our first day. Like, so... like, this is her first day, so she doesn't really know what to do. So, like, if y'all could talk to me, like, yeah, like, please talk to him, please talk to him. But every time, like, they keep calling my name, I'm just like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'll just be like, oh, go do whatever they ask me to. Like, I'd go get the food and, like, bring it to them, but that's pretty much it. Like, I just wouldn't say anything or laugh, or I'd just be like, I'm really awkward. Waitressing, like, made me less awkward, but whenever I started, I was very, like, awkward and very shy, because that's just my natural disposition. Even at school, I've always been, like, very just in my shell, but you can't be like that when you work in the service industry, because you kind of have to, like, make people laugh and talk to people and everything. I would just be, like, really to myself. And then he calls me to the back, the guy who's, like, training me, he calls me to the back and he's like, hey, you look like a bitch. And I'm like, me? Yeah, I don't know, you have this whole, like, model face thing going on, and it makes you look like a bitch, and people are gonna think you're rude, and no one's gonna tip you, and yeah, people are gonna hate you. And I was like, I don't really know what to do. Like, I was like, bro, what do you expect me to do? Like, what, genuinely, what do you want me to do? So, like, they called me a bitch my first day working. They said I looked like a bitch, and I just had, like, a bad attitude, but, like, I was just quiet because I didn't know what to do. And there was a group of, like, 8 men that kept calling me Barbie and asking me to do, like, all types of random things. Like, they would purposely call me just so I could come back to their table, even though it wasn't, like, anything I had to do. So I felt, like, awkward, because I felt awkward and uncomfortable, because it's like, I can't really learn anything because I'm not really doing anything that's, like, smart. Like, it would be like, oh, can I get a napkin? Oh, can you refill? Like, I'm not really learning much about my duties on the job, and I'm not learning from other tables because I just keep coming back to this one table. Like, what do you want me to do? And they ended up tipping, like, pretty good, like $40 to me. And he was like, oh, normally you're supposed to give it to me because you're still training, but, like, because of everything you went through, I think I'll just let you keep it. And he let me keep it, and I was like, oh, please, man, thanks. That was day 1. It was pretty eventful, but after they, like, got done eating their food and they left, it was pretty fine for the rest of the day. But that time period, I was so awkward, I was so uncomfortable, and I didn't even know what to do. And it wasn't even just guy bikers, there were these girls that were there. The ladies were, like, really sweet, but the guys were just, like, freaking weird. They were, like, literally just odd. But yeah, that was my first day. I remember coming home and telling my mom about it, and I was like, they kept calling me Barbie, like, I don't know what that's about. And now, like, I have blonde hair, so you guys might be like, oh, well, can you blame them? But, like, no, I did not have blonde hair. I had, like, black locks, and I just did not look like I don't know what that was about, but that pissed me off. And that happened so many times throughout the job. Like, waitressing for me was actually, like, the worst first job you could have, because it's just so much. If you're a kid watching this video and you're like, what should be my first job, please work retail or something, because the food industry is so chaotic for no reason. And if you work in the food industry, better be a chef so you can be, like, in your own zone and, like, cooking and well, no, that actually can be stressful. But, like, being a waitress, I don't know, it's just so much, and you have to deal with so many different personalities, and it's just such a thing. Like, money is, like, good sometimes, but it's not even good all the time. So it's like, if you want to do it, go ahead. This is the only, like, this job I'm about to tell you guys about, and it gets worse. Oh yeah, that was, like, the bare minimum. I'm going in order. This is the only waitressing job I've ever had, and I don't know if I would wait on tables again, just because of how weird it was. You know, the tips were good though. I can't lie, my tips were good, but it was just so strange. Like, I don't know, it was very odd. Number 3, I got yelled at. Oh yeah, I got yelled at in front of the entire restaurant, and everyone, like, stopped eating and it went silent. I'm not kidding. I wish I was joking. I'm not joking. I'm not joking, yeah. So this is how it is at a restaurant. The chefs cook the food, they get the orders, they cook the food, and they kind of put it out there, and you kind of know, you know what your table ordered, so you just go get it and you go give your table. I know what my table ordered, so I went and I got the food and I gave it to my table, and as I'm walking to give it to my table, my coworker yells, she's like, Rose, pay fucking attention! God! She's like yelling at me, and I stop in my tracks and I look back because I'm like genuinely, what's happening? And this was this one coworker that like so many people had like issues with. So many people had issues with her prior, so she's like known for being a problem. Like she's known for being a problem and being really a lot. And she's the person who like trained me at the second location that I went to, because I started off at like one location that was kind of far from where I lived. It was like 15 minutes away, but then I got moved to a location that was closer to where I lived. But I chose not to work where I lived because it's kind of weird, because I knew it'd be a problem and I knew it'd be weird. Like I live in a kind of suburban area, and a lot of people there are not nice. Like the tips are nice because it's like people make more money, but I feel like, I don't know, a lot of times whenever people make more money, they're just really rude and stuck up for no reason. So I was like, yeah, I don't want to deal with rich people who are gonna treat you, like talk down on you and act like you're supposed to be their servant just because they have money. I'd rather work like whether it's 20 or 15 minutes away where people are not as affluent, but the tips are still tips, because they're still gonna tip you. Like the tips are not gonna be like terrible, they're not gonna be as good, but they're not gonna be terrible, and people are actually gonna treat you like you're a human being, like you're a server, not a servant. So yeah, they ended up moving my stores without my permission. That's another thing I wrote down. They moved my stores without my permission. They never asked me or anything. I just looked at the schedule and I was scheduled somewhere else, and I ended up still going to my original like store, because I was like, oh, I'm supposed to work today, and they're like, oh no, you're not supposed to work here today, you're supposed to work all the way over there. And I was like, I guess I'll do it like once. They're like, yeah, you're just doing it for like 2 weeks. 2 weeks turned into 4 weeks, 4 weeks turned into 4 months, and before I knew it, that was where I work now. That was where I work now, and that's exactly where I did not want to work, because I was like, people are gonna be ruder, people are gonna be meaner. I know, because I lived there, and I know how people are, and you know, that's exactly what happened. My coworker yelled at me like that in front of everyone, saying, oh, Rose, pay attention, like that's not your food, you're supposed to give this food. And I was just like so irritated. I was so irritated. I was also very embarrassed because now it's like an entire restaurant. Mind you, we were full. That's another thing. Everyone was like stressed and freaking out because we were like full. It was such a busy day. It was actually Father's Day and it was so busy. And I just stopped and I look at her and I'm just like, oh, I didn't know. And she's like, oh my god, and she comes and takes like the plate from my hand like aggressively, and I'm just like, guys, I wish I could disappear. Oh my god, I just wanted the ground to like open up and swallow me, because I was like, this is so embarrassing, but I'm not gonna like argue with her in front of everyone, because it's like, I'm not gonna argue with her, period. That's not me. That's not me. Now that I'm like out of the job, and whenever I would tell people that I work there, they'd be like, oh, I heard people are like really mean there, and people like, it's just a really ghetto environment. And I'd be like, no, like why would it be a ghetto environment? Like whenever I said I was applying for a job there, my sister told me, she was like, no, like that's really ghetto, Rose, don't work there, you would not survive a day. I remember in my interview, my manager was like, oh, do you know how to fight? And I was like, what? And he's like, oh no, I'm just playing. He wasn't playing. It's like, you need to know how to fight to like work here. If that gives you an idea of what restaurant I worked at, it was a diner. And if you guys want to know where it was to get a better picture of everything, go on my TikTok, because I used to like post sometimes. That happened, and she took the food and she kind of gave it to the customer who needed to have it. And then he's like, oh, like never mind, like her table can have it. And I'm like, bro, like don't act like you're such a nice person, because you saw me trying to give it to my table, and you're the one who was like, well, is that not my, so that's why she gave it to you. And after she's made this whole spectacle, now it's like, oh, like never mind, I'm such a benevolent, I'm such a good person that like, no, like they could have it instead. And I was like, what the hell, like this is just so much. this is just so stressful. And my manager was standing right there. And then after that, she like writes a note and she gives it to me, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, because she had been on me the entire morning. The restaurant was so busy, and she was like micromanaging and like picking at everything I did, which is like so annoying for no reason, especially when you're under stress already. But it's like whenever the restaurant was so busy and everyone was like just everywhere and there were so many customers, I would never really get overwhelmed, because I'm like, I just need to like worry about my section. I would just be like, I just need to worry about my section. It really doesn't matter what's happening in the entire restaurant. All I need to worry about is like these 4 chairs or these 3 booths. Like that's all I care about. I would never really like get stressed and like start yelling or anything. And even when I do get stressed, like I'm not one to yell, because it's just, I don't know, I'm not one to like yell in a public setting like that, or just like argue and go back and forth with her, because that's really like, it's just not me. So she was like, I'm sorry, like I feel like it's not natural for you to like argue, and that what she did was just really like unnecessary. That's what my manager told me. And I was like, I don't care. Whenever she told me that, I just said nothing. I literally said nothing, because she wrote a note and she gave it to me, and she was like, yeah, just sorry, like that was unnecessary. Whenever I opened it and I looked at her, and I just like threw it in the trash and I walked away. And I should have walked out and never came back, but I did not walk out. I walked away and I went to the bathroom to bawl my eyes out. I did, because I was like, that's so embarrassing that happened right now, because it's like, I don't think it was that necessary. It really wasn't that necessary, and I don't know that girl. Like, I don't know, it's just, you're 30, like she's like 32 years old arguing with a 16-year-old. You're like double my age. Like what? And after that, my manager wanted like, oh, how can I make this about me? And then she fainted, and I was like, okay, I don't care. Anyways, moving on. But people tipped me really good that day. Like I think I made like 200 in cash, and like a few more hundred on credit cards, because I was sad, because she embarrassed me in front of everyone, and I was annoyed. But $200 is not worth my dignity and my pride and everything. Like that annoyed me so bad. And I remember calling my sister, and I told her, and she's like, I would quit. I would have walked out and never came back. You're going back though, right? Because I know you. And I was like, you know me so well, I am going back, but I don't want to. But yeah, that was like the most embarrassing, most annoying moment for me, because I was at a store that I did not want to be at, and it was, I don't think I had even been working at the restaurant for like 2 months, and it was just like such a small mistake. Like our tables ordered the same thing, so it's like, I don't know, it was just like not that deep. It pissed me off. I hate that. Like I actually hate that I experienced that. And then she tried like laughing with me after, and I was like, don't talk to me, because like I'm not really good at the whole fake diplomacy thing. So I was just like, I don't want to talk to you, don't talk to me. And that was that. And then a customer like got mad and like cussed us out as a crew, as a staff. It was like, everyone here is just shit, and y'all need to learn how to do your effing jobs. And I was like, happy Father's Day to you too. Everyone would go on breaks and smoke, and whenever I tried to go on break too, I'd get yelled at. So none of our breaks were like set. Like, you know how in a school day you have a 30-minute break that's like set and you go on your break? No, everything was kind of just like fluid and up in the air. So it's like, whenever you feel like you need a break, like go take a break, just go outside and like calm down, and then you come back. And that could be at any point in your shift. And there was no like fixed amount of breaks you could have, but if you take too many, the manager's like gonna get on you. But anytime I'd go out to like take a break, they'd already be out there. First of all, I didn't take breaks that often, because I was like, this is just not like, this is emotionally exhausting, but it's not really like physically demanding of me, you know? Like I'm exhausted because people keep being mean and being rude, you know? And like customers are really picky. Like I had this pregnant lady once who came in, and there was like cheese in her bowl, but it wasn't on her eggs, and I was like, oh, the cheese isn't on your eggs because you haven't like mixed it in. They just kind of put it on top, but if you mix it in, the cheese is gonna be on your eggs. She's like, no, I wanted the cheese on my eggs. And I'm like, there's cheese in your bowl. If you mix it in, there's gonna be cheese on your eggs. She just gets so mad, and she she's like, that's the only thing I wanted. Like, I just want one thing. And I'm like, oh, no. It's fine. If you want, I could take the bowl back and they could like remake the entire thing and they're not gonna like charge you anymore. And she's like, no, like, since you can't do anything right. And I was like, oh no, like, I'm actually not the one who made it. It was the chef, but I could get him to fix it for you. But she just gets like so mad, and then she just starts like crying, and her husband is just sitting there the entire time she's going back and forth with me. Her husband is just sitting there like, and like she starts crying, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I just stand there, and he's like, please give us a second. And I'm like, yeah, of course. And I see them like sitting there, and then a few minutes later I just slide to-go plates on the table. I'm just like, here you go. Like, if you want, like, I don't know. Like, I genuinely don't know at this point, because she did not want us to change her food, and she didn't, like, she was just so mad at me for no reason. And then my manager asked me what's going on, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. She just started crying. She started crying because there's cheese in her bowl, but it's not on her eggs. But, like, if you mix, I don't know. Like, I don't know, and things would happen like that. So that's why I would say, like, the job is mentally taxing, because people are a lot to deal with, you know, and interact with. But physically, you're just picking up food and bringing it to people. You're just really picking up food and bringing it to people. It's really not, it's simple. So I never really needed breaks like that. So, like, a lot of times I would work, like, every shift was 7 hours. So I would work 7-hour shifts or even 14-hour shifts, and I wouldn't really take breaks. But whenever I took a break, I'm taking a break. Like, what? Because they don't pay you more for not taking breaks. Like, they don't pay you more for not taking breaks. So whenever I would go outside to take a break, she'd be like, have you mopped? Have you swept? Have you filled every single sugar, salt thingy? Have you? And I'm like, who, like, what does that matter? You're out here. Have you mopped? Have you swept? Hello? And the manager would always be on the floor, which is, like, not normal. Your manager should only work whenever you're, like, understaffed and there's not other people to do the job. But so many people hated that store and hated, like, just the way things were ran, that, like, people would quit at an insane rate. So she was working almost every single day. Like, the manager was working, like, every single day. But that was just so annoying. And I felt left out. Like, I don't know. I felt left out a lot, because it was like, oh, we're, like, a family. But the family, like, hated me. Like, if they were, like, outside smoking and talking, I don't smoke. If they were outside, like, smoking and talking, and I would walk outside, they would just go silent and no one would say anything. And I'd just be like, oh, okay. And the manager would, like, find some abstract thing to do. Like, once they had me cleaning the ceiling. They did, yeah. And that was not in my job description. You're tall. You're the only one who could get up there. I'm 5'11", by the way. You're the only one who could get up there. Like, could you help clean the ceiling? The ceiling. Once they asked me to sweep the parking lot, like outside the restaurant, like the big parking lot, and it was like a big parking lot, the huge parking lot. They asked me to sweep the parking lot. It was me and this other, like, young girl. Like, that was another thing. They were, like, very ageist. They would discriminate against me because I was, like, younger. I don't know. I felt it. I don't want to sound conceited, but it's, like, being a bad bitch in certain areas. It's, like, once you look a certain way, people get, like, threatened by you, and then they start being mean out of nowhere. Even though I'm, like, girl, I'm the age of your daughter. My manager's kids, like, your kids are older than me. Who are you competing with? Like, why are you competing with me? Like, actually. Why are you competing with me when I'm your daughter's age? And that's another thing. Like, I had this coworker who was, like, an older guy, and a lot of times who would just be, like, only 2 of us on the floor working, and he felt the need to compete with me in, like, every aspect ever. Like, he was like a 45, 50-year-old man, and he would get insecure whenever someone would compliment me. Like, I remember once I wore contacts because I was like, oh, these are cute, and I got them from, like, a brand. People kept telling me, oh, I love your eyes, because they look tea. The contacts look good. And he's like, oh, they're contacts, they're not real. Oh, I love your hair. Oh, it's a wig. Oh, you're really pretty. You're wearing makeup. It's makeup. Like, he would do that for every single thing. And I'm like, girl, like, why are you trying to fight me? Why are you trying to fight me? And I remember whenever he found out I was 16, he was like, oh, you're 16? I would have thought you were like 20-something. That's crazy. I look way younger than you whenever I was 16. And I'm like, why are you trying to be funny? Like, he's not even trying to be funny. He's just trying to be rude. I'm like, why are you trying to be rude? Why are you trying to be rude? Like, what? I don't know. He was just very, like, mean and rude for no reason. And he always, like, spoke to me like I was dumb, which annoyed me. Especially when we would work, like, 14-hour shifts, just the 2 of us, and he's trying to, like, belittle every single thing I say. It it could get annoying. It could get to anyone would be annoyed. So I was annoyed. I remember once we were like working and I was putting on my lip gloss because I was like, oh well, we weren't working, there was no one really in the restaurant, and I decided to put on my lip gloss because I'm like, oh, it's out, like I've been working for so long, like my lip combo is gone. And then he's like, I just don't know why women spend so much time putting on makeup, like it's just so unnecessary. Like these days a lot of girls want to be prettier than their men, like the man should be prettier than the woman. Sorry, wait, come again. Like wait, what are we talking about? What are you talking about? I was so confused. I was like, wait, so you think like, because he had kids, he had like, I think a whole bunch of kids, like 7 plus, like he had kids, and I was like, so you think you're like prettier than those women? He's like, yeah, like I was a pretty boy whenever I was younger, and I'm still pretty now. And would I say like he looked like a bad looking old man? No, he looked younger than like 40, late 40s. Like he looked young for his age, but he's not like gorgeous. I promise you, he's not gorgeous, guys. Like he's just not like gorgeous. So I was like, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? He was like, I'm just saying, like whenever I look at most relationships, I'm like, the guy's prettier. I don't want to like determine people's sexuality, but like if that's what you look at people's relationships and think, maybe that tells you something about yourself. What? Who said that? Maybe that's something you need to look internally. Look inwards instead of projecting. Because what are you talking about? He was just very old-fashioned. Like, men need to work and women don't need to. And makeup was originally made for men, so only men should wear it. But he also felt like he wasn't gay. Also, I'm going to put on my lip gloss if I want. Like, I hate when people try to play me and be like, oh, you probably wake up in the morning and take hours to do your makeup. I could never. Maybe you should. Just because you don't do something does not mean you shouldn't look into it or you shouldn't do it. Like, I would never get plastic surgery. Maybe you should. Like, just because you don't do something does not mean you shouldn't do it. Like, maybe you should be looking into it. Hello? And we would work like 14-hour shifts back to back together. I remember towards the end, like before I quit, I used to get so annoyed by anything he would say. I would just not say anything, or I'd just be like, please, like I'm not in the mood. I'd be like, please, don't even talk to me. Don't even, not today. Like literally not today. I remember one morning I walked in and he was like, oh, we're about to slay this shift together, right, Rose? And I was like, and I just kept walking. Like I towards the end of this job, I hated literally everybody. It started with me hating my manager because she hated me first. If you meet me in real life, you know my first thing, whenever I meet older people, the first initial inclination is to be extremely respectful. But then whenever she started being so weird to me, like I could never take a sick day off. Like my coworkers would take days off, or they'd be like, oh, my kid has this, my kid has that, but I was supposed to be indispensable because I was young. She was like, you're 16, what responsibilities could you possibly have? I remember I told her one day I can't come into work because I have graduation. I was like, oh, by the way, I'm graduating high school. I'm graduating from high school that day, so I can't come into work. And she's like, oh, just come in like later after the graduation. I'm like, after the graduation, I have my grad party. What are we talking about? I was celebrating my graduation for like the entire week after. Like, what are you talking about? Like, after the graduation, I have my grad party, and after my grad party, I want to breathe. I want to go home and sleep. Can I unwrap my diploma first before clocking in? Hello? I told her no. And I remember once I said I have a doctor's appointment. I had a doctor's appointment, so I could not come into work. And she was like, who has a doctor's appointment on a Sunday? And I'm like so confused because you could see the doctor on literally any day. I was like, what? Do people's physicians not see them on Sundays? Am I missing? What? I've never been sick and my physician is like, oh, I can't see you, it's Sunday. You can't go to the doctor's, it's Sunday. What? Whose physician does not see them on a Sunday? I'm so confused. Like I'm actually baffled by that. I'm still confused by that. I showed up to work because I was like, I'm gonna work 7 hours, but I can't work 14 hours today because at some point I need to go to the hospital. And she's like, no. And I was just like, bro, what? Can that even happen? Can you be like, I can't stay, and they make you stay? Like, I didn't know what the rules of like working was, so I was like, can she do that? I mean, she's in charge, right? Like, if I go, does she fire? Like, I'm confused. And then towards like halfway towards the end of my shift, she's like, Rose, you could go. And I'm like, okay. And I leave. The next time I have to work, and it's the entire crew there, and she's like, so how was your doctor's appointment? And other people are asking me how was my doctor's appointment, and I'm like, how did you know I had a doctor's appointment? Like, I didn't tell you that. And he's like, oh, the manager was telling us, and they were like so confused because they've never heard of people having a doctor's doctor's appointment on Sunday, but I guess you had one. And I'm like, guys, people have doctors. Wait, people go to the, like, do you guys know people go to the hospitals on Sunday? Like, I'm not even trying to, like, did I have a doctor's appointment that day? No. But still, like, people go to the hospital on Sundays. Like, what are we talking about? People, like, actually go to the hospitals on Sundays. And I don't like how she was airing my business like that. Why would you air my business to the entire staff? I'm so confused. And I hated that because it's like there's no confidentiality whatsoever. But then I remember one day she was like, oh, I have a dentist appointment. Guys, this woman had no teeth in her mouth. You have no teeth in your mouth and you could go to the dentist, but I can't go to the doctors? As a human being, as a functioning human being? Yeah, okay. And no one questioned a single thing. I was like, girl, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna, like, sit there and smile with your gums? Confused. Me when I'm confused. That pissed me off because it's like, I would get scheduled like it was no one's business. And of course, I like being scheduled because I'm like, oh, I get to make more money. But it's like, you don't get to make more money when you work at like a breakfast spot and you don't get scheduled for breakfast. You're getting scheduled for lunch, not even dinner. People who get scheduled for dinner make more than people who get scheduled for like lunch, and it's not like a brunch place or like I don't know, like if it's a breakfast spot, people come there for breakfast, and if people are not coming for breakfast, they usually don't come at all. You know, people come there either really early in the morning for breakfast food or really late at night, no in between. And I would always get scheduled at the in between. At the in-between stage. So I would like barely like make any money because your money, you don't get paid that much hourly. So it's like most of your money's in tips. But how can you get a lot of tips when you're not getting a lot of tables? So she started doing that. I remember not understanding like why it was happening. I was like, oh, maybe that's just a thing. Like, I don't know. Like, I was just like, maybe there's just no one to work that middle section time. And then I heard her talking about some other coworker. That was another thing. She would talk about like other employees and what they were doing wrong with us, and I just thought that was really ghetto because it's like, I don't care. I was so confused whenever people had beef with me at my job because I was like, I leave for college in 3 months. I don't care about anything that happens here. I started this job 2 months ago and I'm leaving 3 months from now. So I genuinely hook me up to a lie detector and ask me if I care. I want y'all to see something. I want y'all to see some. Like, I was like, I genuinely like could not care less about anything. So whenever she'd be talking bad about like other coworkers with me, I would just be like, I wouldn't even be like, no. I'm just like genuinely, that was me with everything except like this one coworker. I had one coworker who like I actually liked. She was an elementary school teacher and she was like older. Like, I could tell she was cool. I remember she had her eyebrow piercing scar and I was like, I could tell you had an eyebrow piercing. You're so cool, diva. But everyone else just kind of hated me, so it was just whatever. They were like, oh, I'm rude and standoffish because I'm quiet. But it's like, I'm quiet because I'm scared. Quiet because I'm scared of people, guys. Hello. Oh my god, no, it's like some makeup got on my hair. But whatever. Another thing is they broke almost every single child labor law that exists. I was 16 years old when I had this job, and the laws in Arkansas say no child under the age of 17 shall be employed, permitted, or suffered to work more than 6 days in any week. I had worked 7-day weeks before, like every single day, like Monday through Sunday I would work more than 54 hours in any week. I had maxed that out so many times. I stayed getting time and a half because I stayed in overtime. That was during the summer though. During school, I did not work during school ever. In high school, I didn't work during like my entire high school career. I never worked during school. More than 10 consecutive hours in any days. Every single shift was 7 hours, and sometimes I would get like scheduled for double shifts, so I would get like 14 hours. And whenever she would get mad at me, she would like reduce my hours and start scheduling me for like 40 hours a week. Like, she would get me right where you start getting paid like time and a half. She would be like, oh, come in a little bit later today, and I'd be like, why can I not just come in like the normal time that the shift starts? She's like, oh no, like you just can't because we'll be like overstaffed and it'd be too many people. And I'd be like, what are you talking about? And then it took me like so long to finally understand. Like, whenever I was looking at my paycheck, I'd be like, she's like cuts me off right, like I'll work the amount of time that I should be getting paid time and a half, Like, I don't know how to explain it. She cuts me off right before I could get like that overtime check. And you're so weird for that. Like, you're genuinely so odd and weird. Like, you're such an odd individual. But yeah, every single one of these child labor minor laws they broke, and I did not know they were breaking it because this was my first job, and it's like I didn't even know like what the procedures were. Remember, I had been working at the job for like a month. My mom asked me, she was like, I haven't seen any money. You've been working for like a month, like I've been driving you back and forth, but I haven't seen any money. Like, how are you getting paid? And I was like, oh no, like I'm still getting trained, so like I'm not getting paid yet. And she was like, you're supposed to get paid during training. And I was like, no, but like I don't know what to do, like I don't know anything to do, so like I'm still learning, so they won't pay me yet. She's like, yeah, they know you don't know what to do, but they still pay you. And I was like, and I went to my manager and I was like, well, I didn't go to my actual manager. I went up the chain of command. I kind of went to the district manager and I was like, oh, I haven't gotten paid like ever. Like, is that like normal? And he's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you haven't gotten paid ever. That's not how you run a business. And like he kind of got on my manager for that. That was at the other store, not the manager who forgot about the interview, not the female manager. Yeah, and that's when I ended up getting my first ever paycheck, like a month and a week after working. Whenever you get paid, you're supposed to get paid weekly, and I still never got paid for like my first week working because they were like, oh, we didn't really track that. I didn't even know you had to like clock in at a job because I had never worked before, so I thought they just kind of like knew and they just paid you based off that. So I didn't even have like a clock in number. I remember whenever I was complaining to the district manager, he was like, oh, what's your clock in like number thingy? And I was like, what's that? I was like, am I supposed to know what that is? And he's like, yes, you are actually like how that's how you clock in. And I was like, oh, because I had been hearing the term like clock in before. I just didn't even know what like it actually was. And no one was gonna tell me, but also I wasn't asking, you know. I felt like, I don't know, money is just something. Whenever you start, I don't want to start a job and the first day I'm asking about like salary and how much I'm making and if I get paid for this, even though that's how it should be. I don't know why it's so taboo to be talking about money and it's such like so much stigma around it. Salary transparency is so freaking important, and I don't know why people are hiding it. Like, if people were more transparent with how much they're making, maybe we could all be making more. Maybe we could all be getting paid more. Like, people always think it's like, oh, if people know how much I'm making, they're gonna be like, oh, that's not enough, or like maybe you're making way more than me, or I'm making way more than you and we're working the same job. We could help each other, like help me help you. I don't know. But anyways, I was like, oh, talking about money is like weird and I shouldn't ask anything, and I was just very shy, very under the radar, as much as I hated this job, I'm so glad I had it because it caused me to grow up so fast and like taught me so many things for all the other jobs that I've had. I've been a hostess now, I've been a barista, I've been a waitress, like, you know, I've put in my time. I haven't worked my entire first semester of college, but before that I worked. Another thing that was weird was that whenever I started working at the store that was close to where I lived, it had a whole bunch of people from my high school. It had a whole bunch of people from my high school would like visit the store, and there was a coach actually, football coach at my high school, who worked at the restaurant, and he was like a chef, because the chefs got paid more. I'm pretty sure they got paid like $18 an hour, I think, like 18 an hour, while we got paid $350 plus tips. But yeah, so he worked there, and he worked at my high school as well. And I remember seeing him for the first time, and I was like, I didn't know you worked here. Like, I've seen you in the gym before. And he's like, yeah, I've seen you before. You play soccer, right? And I'm like, yes, I do. Like, I've seen you before, like, football coach, right? And he's like, yeah. And I thought it could be, like, chill. I don't know. I thought he'd be chill and we would just talk and we'd be coworkers and it would be cool. Because for the first, like, we're coworkers now. We're coworkers because at school I see him kind of as, like above, like, not above me, but, like, in the hierarchy, coach student, teacher student, you know. And he was like a geometry teacher, never my geometry teacher, but like I knew he was. And yeah, I thought it would be chill now because it's like we're co-workers, but he was actually the meanest, like, one of the meanest people at my job. You know how everyone already hated me? He came in and he hated me as well, but I don't know why. I genuinely It's like I was just constantly getting bullied. There were like some of my coworkers did not hate me, but it was like, oh, they would peep that people also did not like me. They would peep that people did not like me, and they'd be like, oh, I think they're just bullying you because you're so young, or I think they're just bullying you because you're pretty. And I'd just be like, why would anyone do such? Anyways, the coach at my high school who worked there, he was very rude. Like, there was one day in particular, I was like checking someone out at the register, and I had a table, and I had already taken their order, and I had put their order in, and he was making their food. They were the only people in the entire restaurant. Like, there was only that table, and I was checking people out, like, because they had like a to-go order. So their food gets ready, and there was so much change. This man, like, whenever they came to pay for their food, like for their to-go order, they just pulled out like this bag of just coins. So I'm counting the coins, and I'm like super focused, just like trying to get everything right. And he's like, oh, the food for your table is ready. And I'm like, oh, they're like right over there, can you just give it to them? And he's like, that's not my job, the food for your table is ready. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, I'll be there in a sec. And I'm just counting the coins. And he's like, Rose, the food for your table's ready. The food for your table's ready. Like, he just keeps saying it. Like, it was like 5 minutes, and he's just standing there. He's literally just standing there. There were like 3 of us who were working. The other waitress, she was eating, and he was just standing there. And I was trying to check out these customers and go back to my table and give them the food. And then, like, he was just standing there. Like, he had nothing else to do. He had no other orders. There was only them in the entire restaurant, and he was just standing there, and he just kept saying, the food for your table is ready. It's gonna get cold. These eggs are gonna get cold. And I was like, can you let me breathe? I'm trying. Like, I cannot. Like, I promise you, if I leave this mathematical equation I'm doing in my head right now, I'm never gonna get back to where I'm at. I'm gonna lose it, and I'm gonna lose it. Like, you know when you're in the middle of something, and it's like, if I, like, lose focus, like, I'm gonna lose focus. Like, once I lose flow, I can't get back into flow state. I was like, give me a second. At first, I was like, can you just, like, go give it to them? Like, actually, can you just run the food for them? Because it's genuinely not that serious. Like, I'd do it for you. Because he was a waitress sometimes whenever we not have enough waitresses, but he was a chef 9 times out of 10. But I'm like, I'd do it for, like, it's actually not that serious. And they're, like, the only customers here. So you could just give it out to them. But he was just being so difficult, and he ended up giving it out to them because I was like, I'm not leaving. I'm checking these people out first. Because whenever you're dealing with money, it's like you have to finish that first before doing anything else, or else it gets tricky. So I was just like, I'm actually not doing anything. I was like, and he ended up giving the food out to them, and then after that he was like, oh, next time I'm not doing that because that's not my job, and usually what you do is you leave what you're doing, you go get them the food, and then you finish what you're doing. You could have given the food out to them. Like, I don't know why you're doing all this. You know you're trying to be difficult, and do you know, like, it really does not look good on you. You're a grown ass man. You're like the 6'5", 30-something-year-old man, and you're my coach at high school. Like, I don't know why you're making it so weird. If I played football, I'm so glad I did not play football, because it's like, you're so odd. You're genuinely so odd, and I'm gonna see you at school tomorrow. And here you are just being mean and weird and odd and rude. Like, just rude for no reason. What the hell? And he was never my teacher because he taught, like, freshmen and, like, sophomores, but I was, like, a 10th grader. Well, I wasn't a 10th grader. I was a senior. So I was like, why are you being so weird? Like, maybe you're embarrassed. I'm just gonna take it as that because there's no other explanation. Anyway, that pissed me off, and he just kept doing that. Like, he would micromanage everything I do. He'd be like, oh, no, the forks go on the left side. The knives go on the right side. Oh, napkins are supposed to be, like, just every single thing. It's like, I felt like everything I did was wrong. It obviously wasn't, because whenever new people would come to the restaurant, I would train them because I was the one who knew what I was doing. But it's like, he would micromanage everything I did in front of the manager just to see him. I don't know if he just wanted to be seen. I don't know if it's just that he wanted, like, attention. I don't know what that was. And it was so weird because all of this would happen and I would have to see him at school the next day. Like, especially during, like, soccer, like, tournament season. It was so, like, dreadful for me. Actual dread. Like, senior year was like one of the hardest years of high school for me, tied with my freshman year. Senior year and like the very beginning and the very end, you really have to hang in there. The middle is like a blur. 10th grade, 11th grade, blur. Freshman year, senior year, you really have to be strong. It wasn't easy for me. If anyone tells you it was easy for me, they're lying. They are. I had a friend who had quit that job, like, before I started working there. She was like, Rose, they're gonna work you to the bone. If you let them, don't let them. And I was like, yeah, right, whatever. She was right. She was so right. And she was like, I would never work there ever again. And she was working, like, I could only imagine her dealing with all this and going to school. And she was like a young hoe as well. So she was like, they're ageist. They were weird to me, like, because she had, like, she also does her makeup. And, you know, my friends are like me. Like, she was also like a pretty young hoe. Pretty and young, and they would just be weird to her, which is just like so annoying. And I didn't think that would happen to me, because I genuinely don't believe anyone who's like being weird to me or mean to me it's because I'm pretty, because I'm like, I would never be mean to a girl just because she's pretty. Quite the opposite, actually. Like, I wouldn't be mean to anyone because they're pretty. Like, so whenever it happens to me, I'm like, maybe it's because they're having a bad, like, anything else. I feel like maybe because they hate blonde, maybe because they hate lashes, maybe I would go through the entire list before before I say it's because I'm pretty, because I'm like, why? Like, it's just so unnecessary. That's the list I have. I finally quit after I got accused of stealing $100 out of the register for no reason at all. They said they had videos of me like stealing it on camera, and whenever I was like, can we see those, like, can I see the evidence? Like, where's the proof? And they were like, oh, give us a second, we'll get back to you. And then a few like minutes later, they texted me like an apology stating that, oh, like, sorry, we found $100, we did not mean to accuse you. But that was actually my last straw, because it's like, what's going on here? Like, genuinely, what's going on here? And what pissed me off about that entire situation is like I don't like blaming everything on race, but that felt like racial profiling. Felt like I was racially profiled, and I just hated it. Like, first off, I would never steal, but if I were to steal, I wouldn't steal that little, because what's that gonna do? Like, what am I gonna do with that? Genuine. That was my final straw. And after that, whenever they're like, oh, sorry, like, never mind, we recovered the money, I was like, no, mind. Never mind. I quit, actually, and I was done. And yeah, the service industry is not for the weak. If you're gonna go into waitressing, you have to have a strong heart. You have to have a strong heart, and you have to be funny, or you have to be pretty. Either or. If you're funny and pretty, bonus points. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I haven't worked like a real job since I quit working at 7 Brew. I worked at 7 Brew as well. If y'all want to hear more stories about that, like, it's not as bad. 7 Brew is really not as bad as this one. So it's like, I haven't worked ever since I came to college. I've just been living my best unemployed life. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And yeah, that's all. Bye.